This is TWiT.
We are, as you know, heading towards an election this Tuesday. In fact, the next time we...
Really?
Yeah, you've heard that perhaps?
You just do a digital
Wait a minute, so am I supposed to go vote now?
If you haven't voted, I'm going to send you out the door right now to vote. You've voted already, haven't you yet?
Yes.
Or you
Can
wait,
you vote in Animal Crossing?
That would be...
Already voted.
That's just a matter of time before we have our votes in Animal Crossing. But there is a lot being done between now and Tuesday to kind of prepare for this. Both Google and Facebook are banning election ads after the election. What's the point of that? I'm not sure I understand that.
Because people claiming that it was lost or was rigged.
This is against disinformation.
Yeah, it's trying to do not getting people all riled up right after the election, stopping civil war, that kind of stuff.
Twitter is launching something called pre-bunks instead of debunks. They'll preemptively debunk false information.
Could we not use the term pre-bunk?
Pre-bunk is not a good says the writer in him. They've never done this before. It's not a reaction to an existing tweet with misinformation. It's just going to be up at the top of the feed.
That's just called distributing facts. I know pre-bunking sounds cool, but...
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Just terrible neologism.
I mean, he's looking all condescendingly at us. You peasants.
Wikipedia, which actually I've always has had very good news pages. They have an election 2020 page, and they've already done a lot of things to lock it down before the election.
I don't want to, be overly skeptical, but the people that I'm concerned about are not going to see any of those things that you just mentioned.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, most people get their news from the TV. And and they're going to go to their station of choice, the station that affirms their existing beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Sean Hannity's going to tell them what they want to hear.
Right. So it's going to be...
There's no warning flags on the Hannity show.
It's always an interesting exercise for me to tune between MSNBC, Fox News, and CNN and get really three different views of the world, completely
different narratives.
Completely different narratives. And I think I will do that on election night because I can imagine... Do you think though that I think there's been enough information put out. It's been hammered home over the last few weeks that we may not know the winner on election night. Somebody may be ahead on election night, but because we've already had 50% of the total voting for in 2016 has already happened. Early voting.
But most states, they can't count it until election.
But you can't count it. So those votes will be counted after the in-person votes. So you'll get this flood of in-person votes. But that is probably no more than half the total vote. In fact, likely less. So I think that we've been pre-bunked pretty thoroughly by...
Yeah, I think people have warned. But then you have Trump saying that he wants to cut off counting on election night, which of course he has no authority to do, but he'll say that. And so anything that happens past that will somehow be seen as fake votes.
It is weird disinformation to say, he said it's illegal to not have the results come in right away. No, it's not. In fact, it's
before the telegraph. How do you think we did this?
Yeah, it's completely planned for by the Constitution. It doesn't even require that you
don't need it till December 10th.
Yeah, December 10th. So, So I hope I would think that.
You know what's going to happen on election night? You know what I'm dreading is a couple of things. One, we're not going to know, and so you have on-air people filling time with speculation and meaningless blather. Two, when the polls close, there is a fact. We just don't know it yet.
Right.
And so all this talk about the horse race continuing about, we got to catch up more in Miami, better get them more in Fort Lauderdale, right, is ridiculous. There's a fact that's just not known yet. That's all it is.
It's going to remind us
like it's an entertainment show.
A lot of the year 2000, right, where Was that the one where Tim Russert had the whiteboard and kept going Florida,
Yep.
Florida?
Yeah.
And it turned out he was right, and it was a handful of votes in Florida that decided the election, but not till the Supreme Court got involved much later, and the recounts and the endless thing.
Right.
So we didn't know it. We didn't know in 2000 for weeks, right? How long did it take? A long time.
So just imagine that. Imagine that with all the hanging chads and all that stuff that everybody was, and the rumors and conspiracy theories. So imagine that, but with Twitter and Facebook.
So that's why I'm bringing this up. I mean, that's the tech angle to this, is where are you going to go in this modern age? I mean, 2000, it was hysterical. Harry McCracken tweeted, maybe I can find it, a picture of how we kept up with election of results in the year 2000, which 2000 sounds modern, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Let me find Harry's tweet. It's actually very funny.
I'm sitting here thinking, so Wednesday, I just need to stay off the internet, but we have a show on Wednesday, so
yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it, Ant. You're not going to, you won't be able to avoid it. You're going to, but basically, if you don't know what happened, you can just check out my face at the beginning of the show and you'll know.
Oh yes. That's probably
we'll
going to
either
be
either be energetic or really mopey.
I'll be.
Here is how we followed the election in the year 2000. That's a Palm Pilot.
Yes.
And the Gore campaign ad saying subscribe to the mobile edition of Gore 2000. How do you do it? You get Avant Go. Remember this? Avant Go's free software. You can download the Gore mobile edition and receive new information every time you sync your handhold. We recommend you synchronize at least twice a week.